And she's a little woman, little lady, her name is Dorothy, and she said, "Why didn't you just come home and rest, honey?" And I looked at her and I started feeling this terrible, I thought I was going to cry. But she said, it's like those swallows coming home to Capistrano. She said, "Why didn't you come home and rest?" I thought, I've been out there so long, I'm so tired, I'm so weary, I'm so fed up with everything, I'm so desperately lonely. And then she said something which was really terrible. She said, "Why didn't you just trust in God?" And at that moment the gates opened and something happened, and I grabbed hold of her because I knew within a split, it was like a fast forward microchip. It went zoom, right through my life, zoom, backwards. Boom, boom, boom. I thought, everything I've tried has failed. I thought, why not? G-O-D. And I'd sat in churches looking at stained glass windows and wondering what it was all about. And I walked down on the street in Westwood Boulevard. It was probably about 10 o'clock in the morning, and beautiful sunny morning, and everything brightened up, and this big, powerful voice, wraparound sound, said, "It's all over. And now you can get on with your life, and it's all been for a purpose, so don't forget one moment of it. Now go about your business." And it was that clear. And the craving to drink left me at that very moment. It's never come back. So I take it at that moment I came in contact with a power which is so fascinating and so infinite and so all-consuming. I was taken to my first meeting that night, and a man called George picked me up. He phoned me up, he said, "My name is George, I'm an alcoholic." And he picked me up. He slammed the phone down once he got the address. I thought, damn, I can't stop him coming. The bell rang in. I walked down, there was George, real Alcoholics Anonymous. "Hi!" Shook my hand, broke my hand. "My name's George, I'm an alcoholic." And his girlfriend, Lila, she chewed gum. "Hi, honey." They're all here tonight. We're all here. And they sat in that car, I sat in the back, and they didn't shut up from the moment we left Westwood until we got to Palisades. I thought, I'm really in with the cuckoo birds. And I was taken to my meeting, and I sat in the chair between these two people, Bob and George, and up got Don. "Here, mine's Don, alcoholic." He had a voice like a truck, and he looked like he'd been dragged by a truck on his face. He was the surgeon, and the other man was Chuck C. And he said, "My name's Chuck, I'm an alcoholic. I'll be sober by the grace of God 30 years this January." I thought, he must be brain dead. How can he? And I was taken up to see him after the meeting, and I thought, and as I sat there, I thought, I've come home. I sat in that room that night, and there was a big room, and in All Saints Church, Corpus Christi Church, and they must have said things, and I sat in that room and I thought, I know I've come here, finally come home, because all my life, for 37 years, I'd felt like the outsider. And I knew that everyone sitting in that room, rubbing shoulders with each other, we were all the same, and that we all felt the same, like we were the outsiders, we were the damned, we could never get our act together. And somebody said to me that night, they said, "You need never try to get your act together, you never will." And these two men took me out the next day. I will wrap up in any second. I went out the next day with these two men, and they discussed it over lunch. And I said, "I feel so inadequate." And one of them said, "Have you ever thought of the fact that you are inadequate?" I said, "No." They said, "Well, you are. You have no power." And it made such total sense. I have no power. I'm powerless. And I have no power of prediction. I can't tell you what's going to happen in the next 3 seconds, except I'm going to shut up any minute. But I tell you that it's the best thing that's ever happened to me, and it's the simplicity that's got to me. I mean, I don't do half the things that I'm told other people do, but I can't describe to you what it's like to not want to drink, to not have any desire to drink, and to get up in the morning, and I don't, I get up in the morning, I go to meetings, and I go to early morning meetings most of the time, and I get to at least 5 meetings a week to keep me comfortable. And people say, "I still go to those meetings." I say, "Yeah." "Why?" "Because I'll die if I don't." They say, "Oh, come on." I say, "No, I do." So I don't explain. I don't have any arguments with people who are not alcoholics. I don't try to explain the program. But that's what's happened. I keep it simple, and I have a lot of fun with this. And that's it. I can't describe it. I can't examine things. I can't analyze the big book. I can't sit around being scholastic about it. I know some people are experts on it. And I've tried that, and I can't do it. I don't have that mindset because I'm dummy. I'm not too bright. So I can't examine this. But all I do is get up in the morning and go to bed at night, say, much obliged, thanks a lot. See you in the morning. Go to sleep. It's incredible. I should have been dead years ago. I should have been paying a fortune to psychoanalysts to get this sorted out. And I've come here for free, fun and for free. Cost me $1 to put in the basket. It's the best education, $1 million education, $1 at a time. And I've had the best life I could ever, I can't describe it. People do ask me this, what's it like being sober? I said, I couldn't even begin to tell you. How does AA work? I said, very well, thanks. Thank you. Thank you. Happy Christmas.